Big Z Reviews. Companion is a new thriller, comedic, slightly film that just came out this past week. And it definitely has some fun moments, but I think I had a big problem, like, whenever I stopped to think about anything that was happening. But I think if you can not think about the over complications that this world would have, it can be a pretty fun film.
I know it's gonna sound cheesy, but the moment we locked eyes, there was just a spark.
So this is the debut film from Drew Hancock as a writer and director, and it mainly stars Sophie Thatcher as Iris, and they have her boyfriend is Jack Quaid, and they have like the whole basic setup for this film with like, the problem with this film is anything you talk about it is kind of a spoiler, but without being a spoiler, basically a group of friends get together at like this the one woman friend of this friend group's new rich boyfriend's lake house. And then basically the shit hits the fan, and you have a bunch of escalating shenanigans throughout the film that end, well, I won't say the ending, but there's a lot of violence. And that's all you need to know to get into it. But it's funny, the first trailer they released, and I watched it and I kind of had like no idea what exactly it was. Like, some sort of thriller with like Jack Quaid is like torturing Iris, Sophie Thatcher, and you don't know really what's going on. But then to do like the bit more marketing closer to the release of the film, I mean, every ad made it pretty clear that, spoiler, but I mean, spoiler in a way that the movie opens up with Iris telling us this, basically that she is a sex robot. And so that like, and it's kind of interesting. I think that I'm like going into it knowing that, I don't think it really hurts your enjoyment in the film, especially because it starts off right away that, like, I don't know if, I guess she doesn't say that, I guess the film might start off saying that, I think it starts off saying that she kills someone, and then I don't think she says it's a sex robot. Like, that comes a little later. But then at the same time, like, every picture of her has her with like a white eye, and it's all the whole marketing strategy is that, a murderous sex robot. And I think that, like, there definitely is like a lot of comedy. Like, this group of friends that are kind of all assholes. Like, you have, Sophie Thatcher, the new girlfriend, the sex robot, as Iris, and her boyfriend, who's a douchebag, is Jack Quaid. And then you have his other friends, Harvey Guillen and Lucas Gage. And then you have their couple, and then you have Megan Surrey and Rupert Friend. And Rupert Friend is the Sergei, he's like the rich Russian that has this house on the lakeside. And like, there's the problem, like, immediately knowing that, like, I was watching, and there's some interesting stuff that if you didn't know about how, like, Jack is like treating Sophie, that is like, oh, that's kind of odd. But I think it's almost more fun knowing that, oh, it's like he's talking to Siri, which is Iris backwards. Like, he'll say, "Hey Siri, what's the weather?" And she'll say it, and like the way you could take it as almost like a joke, like she's acting like she's repeating it like your phone would. But then no, that's actually, she has a weather app. And I think that like parts like that, when it's funny, I enjoy. I think that anytime they introduce something interesting about this world, and then I stopped to think about it, and I was like, that doesn't really work. I think because every other like robot gone crazy movie, like unless it's the Terminator where it's like an apocalypse, the newest robot that you're introduced to is something special. It's like a level above all the other robots. And in this one, it seems like the world is flooded with these incredibly advanced sex robots, these companion robots. And I think that it makes it like we're not going to have this technology for hundreds of years, probably. And I think too, like, as the weird thing is, like, because I mean Sophie Thatcher is really good as Iris, but she's almost too good, too human. Because especially, like, I mean, she has a lot of anxiety going to this party. But she says that, that Megan Suri, I know that she doesn't like me. And it's like, it's acting like, she's like a real girlfriend. She's a real person. But at the same time, it's obvious that Quaid is kind of annoyed about that. So it's like, you would have to program that anxiety, but he would not want that. And I don't see how anyone would want anxiety in a sex robot. That's not good. Of course, that makes it so that there shows that they're really high level thinking going on in their artificial brains. But like, it's like too much. And I too, like, they look so perfect. And the weird thing is too, so Sophie Thatcher is gorgeous. But she's like part of that whole crew from the Yellow Jacket show, like the young versions of them. And they're all very unique looking women, but they're not prototypical sex symbols. And I mean, she's skinny, she's like short, she's not well endowed in any way. Her front tooth is a little messed up. Her hair is interesting but kind of weird. Like, everything about her, like, she's unique, and then, like, it makes you look at her and think, like, really different, like a rocker chick. But unless, like, every sex robot is based on a certain person, it's not, I think, what you would expect for a sex robot. I don't want to be weird about it, but, like, she doesn't read as an over-sexualized robot. She reads as a real person, which makes it, like, it would make more sense if Jack Quaid as Josh, if he was, like, a scientist, and this was like his special project he's been working on. But as the movie goes on, this world is seemingly flooded with these things. So it doesn't really work. Like, if I stop to think about it, like, these, especially when they show, especially too, the way he jailbreaks it. Because, I mean, again, I might get into full spoilers. Like, before full spoilers, I will say there's a lot of fun stuff. And if you can not think about the complications this world would have, I think you'll probably love it. But I don't know, some reason when I was watching, my brain just kept getting stuck in the complication that this world had, which brought down my enjoyment with it. But it's still a good movie. But I think, as to kind of full spoilers, the whole plot of this is that, Jack Quaid and Megan Suri, they're trying he bought a sex robot because he was going to jailbreak it and use it to kill Rupert Friend, which was going to try to rape the sex bot. And it's like, but the jailbreaking of it, like, I think to do this right, you had to make Jack Quaid a genius. You had to make him really smart. But he's just kind of an idiot in this movie. Of course, and that's part of the physical comedy of this. But he could be a genius and also be, like, physically an idiot, or you know what I mean? Like, but he's stupid, and and that's kind of a plot point. Like, when Sophie Thatcher actually gets his phone and looks at her settings, and she's like, "Oh, intelligence at 40, really? Yeah, you like your girls dumb," or something like that, and she puts it to 100, and it's like that sort of stuff with the phone and with the settings and changing some of the stuff kind of makes sense as like a user like portal for accessing your love bot. But the jailbreaking is just like a little thumbstick he puts in his phone, and then now he can change it and increase her aggression, increase her self-defense, and make her willing to kill people. And, like, if it was that easy to jailbreak these bots, there would be end of the world shit going on. That everyone would be using it to kill people, and the government would be every soldier would be these bots. Like, they wouldn't be sex bots; they'd be military robots. And I think there aren't enough robots in the film. Like, there are like three robots in the whole film, and one is like at the end is like at like end credit thing, which is like another version of her. But I mean, but like but when shit starts going crazy and a lot of people are dying, I feel like if this hasn't happened before, this company would be going crazy. Instead, all they send is like two dudes in a van to pick up the body of the robot, and it's just like meanwhile they have like half a dozen dead people, and it's like people this is the end of the company or the end of the world. Like I wish like it seems like the jailbreaking the thumbstick, the thumb drive he plugs into his phone, and to even like when he changes one of the other robots, he just puts aggression to 100%. And really, the people making the jailbreak software is going to make it that easy to just make it super aggressive. Like before when he talked about changing the settings, it may seem that maybe actually he got into code and did something. But when you see him doing it, it's just a swoop, it's a slider, and it's like, okay. Like it just like if they it feels like it should be like it feels like it should be like in Cyberpunk 2077, like when you have somebody go psycho and starts killing people. They have like these helicopters, these planes fly in with really strong like soldiers to put down this cyber psycho. Like if it's this easy for him to jailbreak the sex robot and turn it into a murder bot, I think there would be a much bigger response. I think that could have been fun. I think the movie was made for like under 10 million, but like I could imagine like towards the end if there was like there's a whole bunch of soldiers like crash down into the building, it could have been a lot of fun. But instead we got something that doesn't really make sense. Again, and full spoiler, like when Iris kills Jack Quaid is probably the worst kill of the film, and one of the worst kills I've ever seen in the movie, just because it makes zero sense. But early on, like Rupert Friend is like he pops a cork on a wine bottle, and it's like maybe a slightly futuristic corkscrew. Like it's just, I mean, we have them now. I bought one for my dad like 15 years ago. Before it's like you put it on top of the bottle. The top of the bottle goes into the auto corkscrew, and then you push a button, and it goes down, and then pulls the cork out. But the thing is, it's protective. You would have to stick your finger or your dick into the auto corkscrew thing to do any damage. But then the big kill, Iris puts it up on the Jack Quaid's head and like pops a cork on the piece of brain or something. And I'm like, how would that work? A corkscrew is only like that long, and that even if for some reason the corkscrew extended way past where it need to, that would still only be this tiny little bit. And if it went through the brain, it wouldn't really. I mean, it wouldn't be good. But I mean, you've seen all the crazy like brain injuries people have survived from, like a tiny little corkscrew twirling around. Unless you like popped it out and like a whole piece of like a cork of brain came out with it, which wouldn't work because the skull is thick, and that's not how skulls or brains work. Like it's not even like it doesn't work. And I think they're trying to make it mimic like how he tried to kill her by shooting her in the head in the same sort of spot. That makes it make more sense if she had just shot him in the head. Like the corkscrew, I don't really. It was one of the stupidest kills I've ever seen, and it just doesn't work at all. But like, the stuff about it is cool, but it's just like my brain wouldn't let me like deal with the messiness of how this world would work. Like just like I think the biggest thing to fix it would have Jack Quaid be smarter, or even if he worked for this company that made the love bots and he has some proprietary software he installed on it. Like it wasn't just him jailbreaking it the day of. Like he had actually like made Iris just for this, if there's something special about him, special about her. Like, but still it's a fun movie. I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10. But thanks for watching. If you want to see more of me, you can subscribe down below. Thanks.